with RCB. 57 crore remaining in the kitty. Virat Kohli, Glenn Maxwell, and Mohammad Siraj. Importantly, of course, Virat Kohli, the batter only, and Maxwell after what's been his finest season in a long time in 2021. Mohammad Siraj as well. So 22 available slots, 7 overseas. Let's ask Dan Vittori how he would strategize for his former side. Dan?
Well, I think they'll be feeling reasonably content after the last couple of years. I think they've tried to select well and tried to select consistently, and I think they've done a fairly good job around that. So I don't think it'll be a panic auction at all, trying to find something magical. I think they understand what sort of formula they want, and whether that is building towards Chinnaswamy or building to other venues will I suppose dictate a lot of how they think. But the key one for them is Chahal and how aggressive they will be for him, because Chahal has been probably the biggest reason for their success, I believe, particularly last year when he was back to his best in the way that he was bowling. And I know they want him back, but it's just how far they're prepared to go, and how important they think he is, and how irreplaceable he is to bowl at Chinnaswamy, where there's no other leg spinner who's been able to come in and be as successful as he has at that venue. So he's the key deciding factor. And then it's around their fast bowlers. Their fast bowlers were fantastic last year, and they've obviously got Siraj back, but Harshal Patel, taking Harshal Patel and Chahal out of that lineup would be devastating. So if they can get those two back, I think that'll be a key focus.
GS, thoughts on RCB?
Yeah, I agree with Dan completely. I think Chahal is very key. I would have retained Chahal ahead of Siraj in an ideal world, considering how the auction pans out. You do have a lot of other options for Siraj, but I guess, again, maybe they feel something differently. They feel that Siraj is more key to their success, which is fine. So they've been pretty good over the last couple of seasons in the way they have gone about with their option selection. I don't think they should break the bank for the player like Shreyas Iyer. They should have limits for each of those slots. They rather, again, build a core around Virat Kohli. That's been their biggest problem. Every single auction, the dependency on Kohli and that ABD and Maxwell or Gale, those three players, the batting has always been dependent on them. I'm sure Dan will kind of echo the same sentiment. It's been the case for quite some time. So go ahead and quickly pick those Indian players to make sure that likes of Kohli can play very, very freely. So that is something which has always hampered them. So if you want to get the best out of Kohli, what can you do? What's the kind of batting order you need to do that to kind of make sure you get the 2016 version of Kohli? Is going to be hard, but at least get that 550, 600 runs at good strike rates. So how do you go about getting the best out of Kohli and Maxwell? How do you build a team around that? That is what I'm waiting to see. So again, invest a lot more than Indian players and figure out the overseas slots later. You have enough and more overseas talent to kind of fit certain roles.
Okay, going to Akash now. Of course, we must remind ourselves that we don't know exactly how retention talks went between players and franchises. So we don't know if Chahal was offered a retention, whether he chose to go into an auction. We never quite know the exact details there. So keep that in your calculations. But let's go to Akash now. RCB, that too without AB de Villiers. Akash, of course, big shoes to fill.
Yes, and it may not be a bad thing, to be very honest, because see, if you're now looking at next 3-4 years, and if you're still again talking about AB de Villiers, Virat Kohli, Glenn Maxwell, and then, I mean, as great a player as AB is, the fact is, if your franchise now looking ahead want to head in a different direction, it is not that bad a thing. Yes, he would have been phenomenal. There is no doubt. Superman, but they need to now find a life without AB, which is not that bad a thing. But then the problem is, like GS said, look for the Indian core, but where is that Indian core? How many Indians can you actually buy? That's a big one. The ground at which they play, they need to find a very robust bowling attack for sure. If they can't get Chahal, they need to get Chahar. Then get Rahul Chahar at whatever cost that he comes at, because you just cannot compete on that venue. Even at Wankhede, you can't compete at these venues if you don't have a great bowling attack. So invest wisely in that direction. They've got Siraj. I thought it was a better pick as compared to Harshal Patel. So they've chosen wisely. It's that one thing, that get your fast bowlers, get your bowling attack robust, and don't break your bank for a captain. You'll be fine even without like a rock star, high profile captain. The team will still do absolutely fine. And that's why I just said Jason Holder. I keep saying Jason Holder for RCB because just that kind of a guy. And we've seen with RCB, there's one criticism if you were to have, they let go of Shivam Dubey last year for 4 crore and they bought Dan Christian for 5.5. I mean, what explains that? And so that has been the problem area. Their soft underbelly, where you look at number 5, 6, 7. There has been nothing for the last so many years. Not that they've not tried, but they've just not managed to crack that code. So that's one thing that they would want to set it right, because we all say, okay, liberate and take the shine away or the limelight away from maybe Virat and whoever. The fact is, if there's nothing to follow, people are going to focus on these 3 only, right? Because that's where the cream is. So choose wisely is what I'll say. Don't break your bank for an Indian captain.